ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show once again for another week. The countdown towards the end of the home and away season well and truly on at the moment. Just the 2 weeks left in the home and away season, so 2 more home and away season netball shows still to go before we switch into finals mode, and that's when we really start to ramp it up and bring you some of the good stuff as well. Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me as always, my co-host Kim Bailey, the AFL Goldfields netball manager. Kimmy, welcome back.
Looks like you're nearly ready to finish those two, but get a bit confused there, Shaun.
Just about. It's footy shows, netball shows. We film a lot of things on this day, so I'm just got to get the headspace right. And it can take me a minute or so to get going at times, so I apologise for that, but I'll be right to go from here. And basically, I'll just perform the host function and just do the ins and outs for the rest of the show. That's the easy way. Kim's the expert. She can talk about it all. Starting with the game on the weekend at the Eastern Oval between East Point and Ballarat. And obviously after the win against North Ballarat City last week, we thought it'd be a fait accompli that East Point would just swan through the season undefeated, win the minor premiership. Lisa Battistello and her Swans had some second thoughts about that, didn't they? Because they came up and delivered East Point their first defeat of the 2016 season on the weekend. Well done to the Swannies.
Yeah, great effort. We thought it was a fait accompli, didn't we? Really, we thought that was done and dusted, and they'll take the minor premiership. Most probably still will, but it's most probably a bit of the monkey off the back for.
Can be in a way, can't it?
Yeah, but East, you think, oh, thank God we've had the loss. It's most probably not going to happen in finals. That's sort of the idea you're going. But take nothing away from Ballarat. They did a wonderful job. Look, they've been on the cusp of knocking off a big, one of the big teams for a few weeks now, so done a great job. What we're going to get back from it is that, East were undermanned. They didn't have Emma Farrell, didn't have Lauren Dew, and I think... No,
Lauren Dew played, Lauren Atkinson
and Kate McLeod. Regardless, it's who you play on the day.
Exactly right.
That's what matters. So,
if they're unavailable in an elimination final, we're not going to turn around and say, well, hang on, you had 3 players unavailable. You can just go through to next week anyway because you're a good side. No, that's not going to happen.
No, so great effort by them. And, look, Kelly Moran has just been in absolutely wonderful
form. Has.
She really has. Again, 45 from 51, 89%. And she's got to be up there as one of the premier goalers in our competition.
It was a discussion that we were having off air before we started this, but how does she fit into Team of the Year calculations? Because she'd have to be right up there. You can look at, obviously, Jordan Bibby's been fantastic once again. Renee Hulls from Melton's been very, very accurate this year, and I suppose has kept the Melton team afloat in goals this year. But Kelly's got to be in the conversation.
Oh, she has to be, and she's that tall target, we've said that, but week in, week out, she continues to put these great games in. Even when they have had losses, she's been one of their powerhouses all the time. And, the ball delivery is getting better and better to her every single week. And that helps, doesn't it? So, she's right up there. It'd be really interesting to see that Team of the Year. We might have that discussion, what our thoughts might be a little bit later in the final series. So
could be very interesting.
But great effort by them. Really does cement them their spot now, and they deserve to be in the top 6 and play finals, which is a fantastic effort. And
a perfect segue by you into talking point number 2 this week. We've been talking for weeks about, obviously, that battle for 5th and 6th spot, and Ballarat, Sebastian, Redan, how it was all going to fit in, and we were hoping, obviously, with Redan playing Ballarat in round 18, that it was going to obviously get that way. It's not now. Obviously, with Redan losing on the weekend to Lake Wendouree and Ballarat beating East Point, Sebastopol had the bye. As you can see on the screen at the moment, Ballarat on 40 points, Sebastopol on 40 points, Redan on 28 points. 2 games to go. Best Redan can get to is 36 points. That ain't going to get them in the finals. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have our top 6 teams decided for season 2016. Congratulations to Ballarat. Congratulations. This is great to see Sebastopol ready to play finals in 2016.
Yeah, great effort by Sebastian. At one stage a few weeks ago, I was thinking, geez, it could be Sebastian, it could be Redan, it could be Ballarat. And it was only a couple of weeks ago, Shawnee. So
it was 3 weeks ago we went through it all.
But then Sebastian just hit form at the right time. And even having the bye is really timely where they can get over some niggling injuries and things like that. It's interesting to see, though, that top 3, 4, 5, 6 can still change.
Yeah,
you never know. It still changes. So while 1 and 2 are cemented, may change position, not quite sure on that, most probably not. But those 4 positions could change, so really exciting. I doubt whether, I think the main change I would most probably see is maybe Sunbury and Lakers change.
This week will be the determinant factor in that. We'll touch on that later in the show, but I agree. I think the only positions that may change could be 3 and 4 at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see which way they go, because you look at Sebastopol, they've beaten Sunbury already this year. They play Lake Wendouree this week, so it'll be interesting to see which they prefer. Not that they get a say in who they play in the finals, obviously, but which they go in with more confidence against.
Oh, I think straight away they'd have to go, at the minute, they've beaten Sunbury. So that's who you'd be looking at to say, we want to play them, because I think they match up quite well on them. I think it all depends who is available for Sunbury as well at that stage. Sunbury's pride will be on the line. They won't want to go out first week for sure. But Sebastopol, they're real fighters, so they'll be in there to try and get every little goal, every tiny little pass that they can get, and tweaking their game every week for right up until the final series. So exciting times for them. It
is indeed. We'll talk more about Redan in the next week's show, because they've got the bye this week, so they'll get the 4 points this week. But we'll talk more about Redan and I suppose the post-mortem on their season in the lead up to their round 18 game against Ballarat. Because as we do every week, talking point number 3, time to announce the Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week from last week's round 16 matches. Who was it this week, Kimmy?
Okay, so this lady has had a pretty severe ankle injury during the year, and we thought she wasn't going to come back. But Mel Allen has come back into the Lake Wendouree side and has been the difference and has catapulted them back up the ladder. So well done, Mel. She had a magnificent game on the weekend. Apparently, she just ripped the defenders apart of Redan and just dominated the game. So great effort, Mel. Congratulations. Really well-deserved award.
Great job, Mel. $25 Stockland Wendouree voucher coming your way very, very shortly. And, of course, the Lakers ground just down the road from Stockland. So nice, easy spend for it.
Yep. Go and buy something for your little baby, or go and buy it for you. Something for you.
Or buy it for the husband.
No.
No. Just be selfish with it?
Yep.
Like it a lot. Round 17 this week in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Second last home and away round for the season. Kicking off with Melton South taking on Darley this week. Melton South, of course, still searching for that first win for the season. Darley, impressive on the weekend against North Ballarat City, leading on from obviously that upset win against Redan 2 weeks ago that really put the cat amongst the pigeons with regards to that top 6 race. Darley are ending the season quite well.
They only lost by 10 goals to North, so what an effort that was. Fantastic. Every shipper had a really good game. I feel a little bit sorry for them, because they've done better than what's been reflected on the ladder. So
I agree.
They've got to take a lot out of this season, be really buoyant for the next season. It was a great effort to get to 10 goals to North. I think the only player missing was Stacey McCartan, who didn't play. I think it's still got a sore knee, my understanding. So they'd be really, really pleased with themselves, I think. Who they've got the last game, Shaun?
Darley have got in the last round. They have Sunbury at Sunbury.
Sunbury, okay. So that might be a big ask, but you never know. I think that was close. It might have been only 1 or 2 a goal last time.
It wasn't far away at all.
Yeah.
No.
Sunbury touched Melton South up a little bit this week, just gone. So they'd be a little bit upset with that. I think they thought they'd get a little bit closer to Sunbury. But I think Darley will keep winning. They didn't win this week, did they? But keep going on their fantastic form and beat Melton South this week.
To get the win, I think so as well. Melton South, I think what Melissa Climas will do in the next couple of weeks is really what she's done all season long, get games into the youth, see what she's got there, and really 2017 probably starts this weekend.
Yeah, most probably.
Probably started 3 or 4 weeks ago for Melton South.
Yeah, it's great to see that she's brought the kids in, and there's some really young kids in there, Parrots Disco and those type of girls.
Best name in the league.
Yeah. They're still playing under 17s for Melton South on a Sunday. So,
and Melton South 17s are strong as well. They've got some players coming through the system.
Yeah, it's probably not as strong as they were last year. I think they're sitting in 4s, but still they'll play finals.
They will.
So they've got the youth coming through. So, but I think Darley will keep going on a good season. They've got the possibility to win the next 2 if they have everyone firing at the same time.
They do indeed, and that would be a great ending to the season. Melton this weekend have to travel down to Ballarat and do something that we mentioned about Darley last week, Melton have to do something that no one's had to do this year. Take on East Point on the rebound at the Eastern Oval. Sorry, Halsey, but this is going to be tough.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not quite sure if all the girls will be back. I'm not quite sure why Loz didn't play if it was those tight compression pants.
The compression socks might have cut off the circulation to her calves last week.
But I would assume they'll be back this week, and yeah, unfortunately, I think they'll really put the foot down. Melton, a close game against Bacchus. Renee had another great game as well, but I just think East will be really starting to head towards finals now, and they'd start playing their best netball.
Yeah, East with a couple of interesting games. Obviously, Melton and Sebastopol in the next couple of weeks. They'll see that almost as a 2-week mini camp to get themselves right for that qualifying final.
That'll be a great game, East and Sebastopol too.
Certainly will, as will be the game being played, well, at this stage, definitely be played at Wendouree Reserve this week. Lake Wendouree taking on Sebastopol. Two finals-bound teams, two teams that know each other pretty well. This could be quite the interesting game.
Yeah, Sebastopol got a pretty run hard home, haven't they?
They have.
Yeah, so it'd be a good
They're
test
glad.
for them.
They're kind of glad that everything fell the way they did, so they didn't have to rely on those last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They can now use this to play against finals-bound teams.
The way they're
and really
playing,
get themselves right.
They can have a crack at this.
Exactly.
They really can. And the key is most probably, as we know by now, is to shut Mel down.
Yep.
But again, we keep saying they've got such a strong mid-court as
They
well.
kind of did it last time because it was the game against Sebastopol where Mel rolled her ankle last time. She landed on Rhiannon Banner's ankle.
Yes. And Rhiannon still hasn't forgiven herself about that, but it's just one of those things. So, they've got, I think Sebastian's starting to come good at the right time, as we discussed last week. But Lakers have been, since Mel's return, has been on a real roll. And, Molly Boyle has had a wonderful season. And the beauty with Molly, you can chuck her into the centre, you can chuck her into wing defence or back into goal defence if you have to. And then she's got Cara Hart who backs her up as well and runs down the midfield. So they're a really great team, and I think they're snuck under the radar a little bit lately.
Very much so. Very much so.
We might have counted at the start, but I think they're still contenders right up there. And look, it's the top 6 virtually is any team. I still think most probably Ballarat most probably will just have to show a little bit more against the top teams. I know they beat
Despite the fact that they beat the top team and then give them their first loss on the weekend.
Yeah, but
I know what you mean.
We need to have a look at that. I just think they will. They might struggle to go much further. But Sebas on their day can do it. But their height concerns me. Sebastopol, whether they'll be able to, negate the tall timbers of some of these top teams. That's my only concern with them.
Tipping this week, Lakers?
Yes.
Yeah, Lakers in this one as well. Interesting game at Clark Oval this week. Sunbury taking on North Ballarat City, and the netball girls won't have to worry about the football blokes just hanging around and getting changed in portables near the netball courts this week either, because the new room's ready to roll at Sunbury.
Yeah,
so
they look magnificent too.
Might draw less of a crowd to the netball with the footballers watching on as they're getting prepared, but not either way. This should be a fantastic game. Two teams that have obviously played against each other in some fairly high stakes games over the course of the last couple of years, including a grand final last year. Sunbury really pushing for that third spot, which is just about theirs if they win this game, I believe. That being said, North City obviously have had a tough couple of weeks. They'll be looking to assert some authority and really get themselves some form heading into the finals. Yeah,
they really need to play themselves back into some form. It's vital for them. And this is the game that these two are always close. I think the last game was 1 or 2 goals. I think I saw the last half of it, and Sunbury were unlucky to lose it. But
Rupert playing in Sunbury this week.
Yeah, but Rippers would have a really good big game against one of the top teams in the ADFL, so I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to get away. And if they do, some of those girls might be a little bit sore. But these Sunbury have to win without those girls too.
Exactly right, because it could come to the first week of the finals and they may not have them available.
Yeah, so they really need to look into their depth and start getting those girls prepared just in case. We don't know where the finals will be scheduled yet. Depending on who's finishing where. Could go either way, but I think because of the unavailability of some of the other girls, I think and North are going to really want to start to put their pedal to the metal as well, and I think it'll be a victory to North.
I reckon this game's going to tell us a fair bit about what's going to happen in the next few weeks for North City as well. Whether the last couple of weeks are just an aberration or whether they're an indication, so to speak.
But you know what? It's good to, as long as you're starting to peak or you've sort of hit and you started to climb that mountain again, 2 weeks out you can recover and
Darley in the football is a perfect example because round 17 last year they got wiped off the park by East Point.
And they won the grand final.
They won the next week against Redan and then were unstoppable for
But
the
how
rest of the year.
crazy is this conversation, though, what we're having?
I know.
Because North lost one game.
They've lost one game in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so I think we're most probably writing them off, and we shouldn't be, because I still think they'll be right up there, and
Definitely.
they can take it out. I still think it'll be an East and North grand final. So see how we go. But
North. Tipping North in this one. North for me as well. Last game for the weekend, Ballarat taking on Bacchus Marsh. This was a close game, the first time these two teams played, but I just feel that Ballarat in a bit of better form since then. They'll have gained a world of confidence from that win last week, and obviously, whilst their final spot's secure, they will want to get themselves some really good momentum leading into the finals.
Yeah, I think so. Bacchus had a close game against Melton, so they'd be quite happy with that. But yeah, I think that Lisa's done a great job with the girls there, and obviously said the X factor there is Kelly Moran, keeps coming up, and I don't think Bacchus have anyone to stop her.
I agree 100% with that one. Ballarat will win this game.
Yep.
That takes us to the end this week, ladies and gentlemen, of another edition of the BFNL Netball Show. We're on the Netball Show, aren't we?
Yep.
Just confirming.
Change sports.
Just making sure. Obviously, I stuffed up at the start of the show, so I just want to make sure I was on the right track as we finish it off. Kimmy, thanks for joining us again this week. And thank you for joining us as well on the BFNL Netball Show. We'll see you again next week.